Okay, the only thing different here is that it says you're making 2 full revolutions around. So you're right. You're basically what that's saying is you're riding it twice. So if it takes 12 minutes to go around one time, how long are you on the ride for? Hopefully you're saying 24 minutes because that would be correct. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our intervals before we kind of talk about anything else. So we know we're going to be 3, 6, well, 0, start at 0, 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, and then we're going to go around again. So we get 15, 18, 21, and 24. You can spread those out if you want a little bit further, but that's mine. Okay, so those are our intervals. Now let's talk about what our y-axis is going to look like. So remember, we are now getting on 10 feet in the air. So we're going to be up here at 10 feet when we start riding the ride. So let's go ahead and denote that, 10 feet. So we said that, well, the problem said that we're 70 feet in diameter. So this is 70 feet. So what is the radius then? Well, the radius is 35, right? 35 feet. Okay, but you have to realize that you're 10 feet in the air. So if we add 35 to 10, we're going to be at 45 feet. And if we're at our diameter is 70 and we add 10 feet because we're 10 feet in the air, then that puts us at 80 feet. So, does everybody get that? So what is your midline going to be? Well, your midline is going to be your radius. So your radius is 45 feet. So that's going to be your midline. So we're starting at 10 feet in the air. And so at 3, we're going to be halfway up. So we're going to be at 45, your midline. At 6 minutes, we're going to be all the way up at 80. At 9 minutes, you're going to be back at 45, halfway down. And then 12, you're going to be back around. Now, that would be one ride. But remember, it says we're going to do 2 rides, so we've got to go back around. So at 15, we're going to be at 45. At 18, we're going to be at 80. At 21, we're going to be at 45. And 24, we're going to be back around at 10. So we've got this look. So we get, 2 waves is going to equal 2 rides around, or two revolutions, right? Okay, so let's math this. Shh, Kenny. So if you math this, your midline is going to be 45. Your amplitude is going to be, well, what's the difference between 45 and 80? That's going to be your radius, so that's going to be 35. And then your period is going to be, how long does it take to go around 1? So that's going to be 12. I hope that helps. Ask any questions to each other if you don't understand. Let's go to the next one. All right, this time we're at 80 feet in diameter. We board from a platform of 40 feet in the air. The 9 o'clock position of the Ferris wheel is level with the loading platform, so that's your key right there. Okay, the wheel completes one full revolution every 10 minutes, and we're going to make 3 of them. We're going to ride this thing 3 times. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like on your Ferris wheel. So we have this, let's look at this Ferris wheel. It says at the 9 o'clock position, so this is 9 o'clock right here. We're going to have a platform. So now we're halfway through the ride when we even get on. So that's 40 feet in the air, and it says that our Ferris wheel is 80 feet. So do you see how the platform that we get on is your radius. That's your halfway up. So let's assume that we start at 0. And let's assume that we're going to go down on this one, okay? And not up. We could go up, but we're going to assume we're going to go down, okay? And on these other ones, I'll actually specify in the problem what direction it's going. Okay, so we're going to go down. So now it's going to take how long to ride this thing? Oh, every 10 minutes. It's going to take 10 minutes to go around one time. So let's figure out our intervals. So if we have 10 divided by 4, that's going to equal 2.5. So those are going to be our intervals. So at 0, then we get halfway down, or all the way down, we're going to be at 2.5, and then we keep going around and around. So let's do our intervals. We've got 0. Oh, if we want to see how long it's going to take us to go around this thing, we're going to go around 3 times. So if it takes, let's see, 10 minutes to go, times 3 times around, it's going to be 30 minutes to ride this whole ride if we go 3 times around. All right, so 0, then we add 2.5. Kenny, shh. 2.5, and then we're going to add 2.5 each time. So 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15. I feel like my intervals are kind of getting all jacked up here. 17.5. 20, and then keep going. So that's going to be 22.5. Then we're going to be at 25, 27.5, then at 30. Okay. So now, where are we getting on at 0 degrees? We're getting on at 40 feet in the air. So at 0, we're going to be at 40. And then to the very tip top, it's going to be 80. So at 40, that's going to be your midline. So let's go ahead and draw that in. So what kind of graph is this if you're starting at your midline? So we're going to have a sine graph. So then at 2.5, we said that we were going to be down at the bottom. Now it's going to have to specify because technically it could be up here if we were going up first. But if it says it's going down, then we're going to have a negative sign. So at 5, we're going to be back at 40.
Why are you talking?
I'm recording a video. Can you say hi?
Hi,
A video. Okay, can you go see Daddy? Uh-huh. Yes. Okay, so at 5, we're at our midline again. 7.5, we're at the very top. At 10, we're back at the bottom. I mean, back at our midline, which is where we get on and off the ride. But we're going to go around again. 12. Midline is 15. 17.5 is at the very top. 20. So then we get this wave 3 times around. Okay, how are y'all feeling? I hope good. Pause if somebody has any questions. If you're confused, if you're like, wait, what is going on? I need you guys to help each other. I will answer questions when I get back on Tuesday. Okay, so what is this asking? Determine your position in the direction at t equals 0. So determine the diameter of the wheel, how long one revolution is, and how long you are on the ride. Okay, so determine your position at 0. So where are we at 0? Well, we're right there. Kennedy. So if you're at, this is probably a platform, wouldn't you assume that? So if your bottom is 5 feet, that means you're going to be 5 feet in the air, and the top is at 30. So if you're looking at your diameter, so what would it be? 30 to 5 feet. So your diameter, so the whole diameter here, from top to bottom, would be 25 feet. Does everybody agree? Because you're 5 feet above the ground, and up here is 30, so 30 minus 5 is 25. So what is half of 25? Okay, so does that make sense so far? So I don't want to pause right here. Does that make sense about the 25 feet? Because if this is 5 feet in the air and you're going all the way to 30, you're going to have to take the difference of that to find this length right here. So that's 25 feet. Or just do max minus your min. So your max is 30, your min is 5. That's your diameter. That's how tall. Now, what is your midline? Your midline is going to be half of that. So that's going to be 12.5. So when it asks you what position at t equals 0, when you're at 0, you're going to be at 12.5 feet. 12.5 feet in the air. Okay, so it says determine the diameter of the wheel. We just did. The diameter of the wheel is 25 feet. Okay, then it says how long is one revolution? So that's really asking what's one wavelength? What's one revolution? How long does it take? Well, it looks like it takes 10 minutes. And how long are you on the ride for? Well, you're on the ride for 20 minutes. So how long do you ride the ride for? You get 2 rides. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so this is one without any graph. It just gives you your coordinates. So you could go ahead and you could plot out these points if you wanted to. You could draw a graph and you can say, okay, at 1, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which kind of makes this confusing because you don't start at 0. So it's kind of like you have some phase shift. You don't know where you are at 0 time, so it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. But it just wants us to map it. So let's figure out what our midline is. So remember back that your midline is your max plus your min divided by 2. Well, look at your y's, because your y's is your height, right? And your x is your time, because that's what we've been doing. Let me write that a little bit better. X is your time. Okay, so if I'm looking at all my y's, what's my highest point? What's the highest? Well, hopefully you would say 12. So 12 plus, what's the minimum? So here's 12. I see 12 is the highest. And what is your minimum? Looks like -4 to me if we're just looking at the table. Don't know if the table makes sense. Ugh. I wonder if that's supposed to be a +4. Let's look. 8, then 12, then 8, then 4, then 0. 8, 12, 8, 4, 0, -4, 0, 4, 8, 12. No, I guess it's -4 is right. Okay, so -4 plus, so 12 plus -4 divided by 2. So we get 8 divided by 2 puts us at 4. So our midline is going to be y equals 4. Okay, so now let's do your amplitude. So our amplitude, remember, is your max minus your midline. So our max was 12. Our midline was 4. So our amplitude is 8. Now let's look at your period. So this one's a little confusing because this is where you have to look at where it starts repeating. So I see 8, 12, 8, but then my next one's 4. So we haven't had any repeating. So you kind of look at the sequence. 0, -4, 0, 4, 8, 12. Okay, so it looks like this is where it starts repeating. And really technically right here, because this is 8 and this is 8 and then it starts 12 again. So it looks like this is where it starts repeating. And so you think, oh, 9. But remember, we didn't start at 0. So we have to do your end. So where you ended was 9. Where you started was 1. So your period technically is 8. I know that's a little confusing. We'll kind of work on this when I get back. But that just gives you an idea. I think that's the end of our notes. We're going to start working on our worksheet next. So go ahead and get that out. I'm going to walk through some of these with you.